Hello, my friends, and welcome back to another video. So lately I've been doing a lot of these, story time, storytelling, giving tip style videos, and I've just been having a really hard time continuing that style, especially because it's so boring and it's just me blabbering away on and on and on. And so today I thought I'd do something a little bit different, add a little bit of a more casual, like vlog style element to each of these videos, while also giving you, a few tips here and there. And also, since Toronto is, open now for the time being, there's no lockdown, there's a lot more happening, so I figured, might as well. Yeah, but today we're talking about setting up your finances as a university student. As a university student, things like setting up a bank account, what documents that you might potentially need, as well as, credit cards and whatnot. And this is especially applicable for international students, but it also applies to you if you're out of province or you're just starting off and you don't have these documents even as a local. And with that being said, I guess let's just get into it. So the main things you need when it comes to setting up your finances is a checking account where you will basically be doing your daily transactions, buying stuff, depositing money, things like that. Maybe a savings account because in case you have extra cash lying around that you want to use sometime in the future. So a savings account is good to put that money in there for the time being. You would need a credit card, which I highly recommend, but that's more of a personal choice, but I will tell you why I recommend it later in the video. And lastly, if you want a credit card, you would also need a social insurance number, which I recommend that you get even before going to the bank because it just makes the process super easy. So the worst thing about being a student is that you never have enough money. Even when you need it, you want to do something fun. I'm telling you, you're not going to have enough money unless you're super rich, which is a good thing for you, I guess. But the best thing about being a student is that checking accounts are completely free. And so all the big five banks usually have a sign up offer. They give you a credit or they give you $300 and whatnot. So go with the one that you find the most convenient. So if you live in a certain area, just look for where the closest bank is and just get a checking account. And honestly, won't even matter that much, especially because the offers that they provide is pretty similar. So some of them have unlimited transactions, which is a bonus because then you don't have to pay fees if you go over a certain limit. But some banks like TD, for example, their student account only has a limited transaction of 25 per month, I believe. But honestly, it won't matter because I'm going to tell you that you shouldn't use a debit card. And here's why. Before I forget, I just want to say one thing that I did that might be a little different. So instead of having one checking account at one bank, I actually had two. And that's mostly because my dad used to support me financially while my time as a student, and he would send me money in one of these accounts. And the other one I had because I had a credit card with a different bank. And so what I did was that I used the checking account that my dad used to send me money in as a almost like a holding account where I kept all my finances for say even the rest of the year, and the other one would be where I would have my monthly expenditures. So I would essentially transfer money from one account to the other, and I'd use the other checking account to pay for all my expenditures. And that basically provided me with two big benefits. One, it made me a lot more responsible and disciplined with how I spend my money. And B, it was a lot more convenient for me because where I lived in, the bank that I opened a daily checking account with was really close to my house. So I just walked there if I ever needed it to. Okay, so let's talk about savings accounts. So for me, when I went into the bank to open up an account, they kind of like persuaded me to get a savings account, but I find that they're kind of not useful, especially because if you think about it, A, they only have limited transactions, and B, the interest rate in, these big banks are so bad that you're never going to even receive $1. Like, I don't think that in the last 4 years, I've received $1 from the amount of money that I put in my savings account. Okay, so let's talk about the next topic, which is credit cards. And I know that for a lot of people, they are very pro credit cards, and then there's this other group that are very against. And for those of you who are against it, I understand that, credit cards are bad when you're being irresponsible. And once you get into that cycle of debt, it's never ending. And at the end of the day, it is your personal choice. But personally, I am very pro credit card. The big advantages of using a credit card is that A, it's more secure because unlike a debit card where where in a transaction they directly take money out of your account, with a credit card you basically have a credit and you pay with your credit, and at the end of the month you basically pay it back. What this does is that it makes you less susceptible to being hacked, being phished, and whatnot. And even if you do lose them, and even if you do get scammed, it's not your money, so you can always dispute it. But with a debit card, you can't really do that. And the other thing is that it's a lot more convenient because, especially if you have a limited transaction checking account, credit cards give you unlimited transaction, and you can basically spend it without giving fines. But the biggest reason why I'm such pro credit card is simply because of the fact that it helps you build your credit score, which is something so important that you don't realize it because no one really tells you how important a credit score is. And the reason why it's so important is because you literally need it down the line with everything you do. If you want to buy a house, they check your credit score. If you want to rent a house, they check your credit score. If you want to pay for a car, they check your credit score. Like, there's no, like, you can't run away from anything when you have a bad credit score, or worse, if you don't have a credit score. So I would say get a credit card, especially because with university credit cards, they usually give you a limit of $1,000. So it's good practice. Like, at the end of the day, relatively $1,000 isn't that much money compared to, say, like 5, 10, even $15,000. And so if you do get into really bad debt, you can just pay it off and restart. Or if you don't want to, then that's up to you. That's fine too. So as for credit card recommendations, starting off, your best bet would probably be those free no charge credit cards, like the very basic ones. And you could either get a rewards card, or you can also get away with getting a cashback card. I personally think that a cashback is better, mostly because you get cash back, and the reward points don't actually make that big of a difference, especially because of how basic the cards are. Um, for locals, you could really go into any bank, and just get yourself a basic credit card to get started off with. Make sure there's no fees, and it's basic. It's the most basic card that you can get, and you should be fine. Especially because they're not going to increase your limit over $1,000, at least for a good year or two. For international students, it does get a little bit tricky, and I personally found that it was a lot harder to get a card, but it is still doable. TD, I know for a fact, does not give cards to international students because it depends on your social insurance number, which I'll explain in a bit. I was able to get a credit card from RBC, but make sure you tell them that you're not a tourist, but you're a temporary resident, and they should be able to give you a card. I know for a fact that my friend got a CIBC credit card, so there are ways. It's just that you have to look around a little bit. But yeah, RBC and CIBC are both pretty good choices. So I've talked about social insurance number or SIN a number of times in this video, but I didn't really explain what it is. It's basically a unique identification number that every Canadian gets. And remember that as an international student, you're no longer a tourist, but you are a resident for tax purposes in the country. So you do have to pay taxes. And so you need a social insurance number for almost everything, really. For paying taxes, for getting a job, for getting a credit card. So I would recommend that even before you go to the bank, get a social insurance number from your local Service Canada. You can either get it online, or you can just go to the branch, especially if it's open, and just get it from there. Okay, I'm actually going rock climbing today, so it's gonna be really interesting. So I'll see you in a bit. So, hello friends. So I spent the last like 5 hours since I last I recorded this video doing absolutely nothing. I was just like sitting around like playing games and whatnot. So nothing interesting. So I didn't actually vlog any of it. But right now we're getting ready to go to rock climbing. We have to prepare a few things before we go. I need to get some stuff and then we'll head out. So let's go. Right, so I'm here at this place. I think I'm here because the logo's right there. I don't know if you can see. Oh yeah, look at that zoom. But yeah, I'm here. I'm just waiting for my friend Tasvia, who is late. I'm not surprised. I'm not even the one with the car. I took 2 buses to come here, and she's still not here yet. So yeah, I'm just gonna wait for her. Just hang around in this place. The culprit's here, as late as ever.
Yang is here! Hassan!
Hey guys. So late. How late are you?
How are we late?
How late are you?
7:30 to our
I've
slot.
been here since. Yeah, so that was rock climbing. I had such a good day. I hope you like the B-roll footage. I know I didn't speak a word in there, but it was so hectic. I was sweaty. I have chalk everywhere in my hands, and honestly, as the British would say it, I'm just knackered. Wow, I'm never saying that again. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. It was a little different. It had a lot of other things other than me just talking about like a checking account and whatnot. So if you liked videos like this, please subscribe, like the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.